because I talked to my mom about this beforehand, and I'm like, I'm going to tell my story. And she was like, okay, that's fine. Just let them know I am now a codependent in recovery, which she 100% is. And she's the best grandma ever, like ever. So we learned a lot of things together. If you're watching this, Mom. You're the best.
We're proud of you.
Right.
We're proud of you. Yes. All right. Okay. Raffle time? Are we doing raffle now, or do you want to do it at break? Break before the break.
Are we doing something right?
Yeah, we're going to wait. We'll do the raffle at break. Okay. So, first, I want to say what a great job you did.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Lots of good questions here. If there's something that you're like, yeah, I want to talk about this one a little more, please do.
Okay.
You and I talk all the time, so I just want them to be able to like hear a little more about you. This is a beautiful question here. Yeah.
We keep sliding.
How's this?
Like that?
Dumb and Dumber. Oh shit.
Dude, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Like, here we go. How about this?
Yeah. More?
Yeah.
We can,
okay.
yeah.
Hi. Everywhere. All right, so you will like this question.
Okay, I hope I do.
What would you say? Thank you so much. What would you say to yourself at age 6 and or around the age, this makes me like emotional just for you. What would you say to yourself at age 6 and or around the age that you first thought, this is not?
Oh, great. Who wrote this? You want to get me crying again. I would absolutely tell her it's not, right? This is not how your life is going to be. And I would let her know that this is part, and I would just tell her thank you. Right? I would just like scoop her up and I'd tell her thank you so much for going through this. Right? Like thank you for enduring, but not just that, like learning, right? Staying a human that still loves, and thank you for learning to cope through your imagination, because I still got that, right? I still got that.
I love that. What is it that you think she would say to you right now?
Oh, Hazel. Maggie's therapy. She would just be so proud.
Yeah.
She just wouldn't believe it. She wouldn't believe that she ever got to leave that place. And she would, so proud.
Yeah. How do you handle your anger today?
Ooh. How do I handle my anger today? So I realized a lot of my anger was towards my mom, back in the day. And when I was in treatment, we were going through a family session, and the counselor, was trying to get my mom to be sorry. That everyone in the group, it was a giant family group, and everyone's raising their hand. They're like, do you see your daughter? Like, look at your daughter. She's so upset. She's, just like, can you look at her? Because she went into this spot of, but me, like, this is what about me? That victim place, it's like the worst place when you're a kid and you just want your mom to say sorry. And I just remember looking at her and just like wanting her so bad to say sorry, or just be like accountable, I remember the therapist just like turned away from her and looked at me and said, I'm really, really sorry, but I don't think you're ever going to get the apology that you deserve. And I just remember in that moment, just like, oh, right? And I feel like something was lifted off me, because I'd been fighting so hard for so long to get her to do that. And I remember in that moment thinking, oh, I'm never going to get that. What do I do next? What do I do? And that piece of my anger it left, right? Like that when I was like just that angry kid. Not to say that I don't deal with anger now, still I do. And I think that the way that I deal with anger now is I see it as any emotion, really. I see it as information. So when I get angry, I know, one, that someone's crossed my boundaries or I've crossed my own boundaries and I need to do something, because anger tells you to do something. It says fight, run, hide, right? So I understand now that when I'm in anger, the message for me is, who crossed your boundaries? Did you cross your own boundaries? And what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Use the energy of anger, because it's an active emotion, to do something about it. And so my relationship with anger has changed in that way. Long story short.
I love that. I think that's such a beautiful thing. I think that we hold out for these apologies. We hold out for these people that we've loved that have let us down or hurt us, hoping that they will finally see, right? That they will finally understand. And I don't think we ever get it in the way that we want, right? I've never heard some of the people that have hurt me really get it. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, like, I never will.
Right.
Now what?
On that note, my mom did write me a letter, right? 20 years later, apologizing for everything. But I had to get through that on my own, right? I had to make that better for me. Yeah.
Recovery has its ups and downs. Have you ever felt like, I can't do this anymore? And if so, what do you do to move forward?
So recovery, I think in regards to using and whatnot has gotten so far behind me that's not the first thing that comes to my head anymore. So when I think about, I can't do this anymore, I can't do life anymore, or I can't do all these other things anymore, the things that I do, one thing that I know is something that came to me in yoga one time. I have lots of stories, I guess, attached to this. So I was in yoga, and yoga teaches you a whole bunch of stuff, right, about what you're capable of, just working out in general. And they had us doing this stupid position forever and ever and ever. And it was not like they were never going to stop. And I was like, oh, I'm looking around, everyone's staying. And I'm just like, this fucking sucks. Like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember the teacher saying, hey, it's okay to rest. It's okay to rest. And I was like, is it? No one else is resting, And so I look around and I'm like, all right. And so I rested. But within like 2 seconds, like I got back up. And like there was this moment for me of like, oh, like I won't ever give up. I won't ever give up. Like that moment, I'm like, I'm not ever, that's me. I won't give up. But I need to rest. Yeah. And so that's how I get through that, is I rest. I take a minute. I take a step back. I talk to my people, whatever rest looks like, but I don't ever give up. And I know and trust that about myself, that I won't, right? Sometimes I forget that, but then I rest and I remember that about myself.
I love that. Some questions about working in this line of work. What have been the biggest challenges in this industry, and what would you tell someone who wants to pursue this line of work?
Some of the biggest challenges, this line of work, a lot like any line of work where you're dealing with a fatal disease, right? You have to become very aware of the fact that the people that you work with might not be here tomorrow, And so that's been something that's really rough. You know, you watch the most beautiful souls recover, and sometimes you watch the most beautiful souls leave this earth too. And so that's a challenge, right? That's absolutely a challenge. And also just, you know, wanting to convince people to save their own damn lives when the addiction is, you know, just getting to them. That's rough. You know, when you sit there and you look at someone and you know their potential and you know their light, and that addiction has a hold of them, right? And there's nothing, you give what you can, but at some point, sometimes you just have to let them go back out, you know, go get the research. And that's another part that's just, you know, anyone who works in this industry is rough to watch that light come on, and then to watch the grip that that addiction can have is powerful, and it's heart-wrenching, right? The good news is you see more good. I honestly say I see more good happen than I see that, which is the best part, right? But those are definitely the hard parts, for sure.
I think the other day we were talking, and this idea that when people come into our program, that sometimes we only get them for a small blip on their road, right? On their path. Some people come in, they get it, they are like, this is it for me. Other people come in, you see that light turn on, and then you see them go back out. But we talked about the other day how even if you are only here for a moment, that you can come here and be truly seen. And I think that's one of the gifts that you have, is that you can truly see people's soul. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think so. But, you know, I think that comes back to my genuine love for people. You know, if you've ever sat on my couch, I don't know if you guys know, and anyone can, like anyone who wants to come in,
to be in trouble.
Yes, like just come see me. I legitimately love it. I love it when people come in and just, you know, most of the time they come in when they're in trouble, you know, if you're not my client, right? But when they come, when people come in and sit on my couch, it's, you guys don't know this, so there's a little inside secret, but some of you know this, Trevor knows this, but what I see when you sit there is just your little, you know this too, is your little kid, your little girl, your little boy. And when I get a chance, when you're sitting there and I just get to see that part of you, like that's like, those are like the best moments. And I think that's what I see. And I don't know if that's special. I don't know if that's, you know, something that other people do, but I do see you, but I mostly just see that little kid inside, right? That comes walking in, that's hurt, that comes walking in, that just needs someone to see them, you know? So at least I hope that's what I see sometimes when you guys are sitting there. I literally picture like little Liz and little Tim, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up to heal, because Liz today, Trevor today needs you. Right? They need that part of you. So when you come in, don't get freaked out when I'm like, "Aw, come here, come here." I won't do that, but in my head I'm doing that. Little Courtney.
She might give you a juice
She's the cutest, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something that I've come to know so clearly in working with you, is that the work that we can do with our inner child, like they are waiting for you to see them. Nobody has seen them at different points in their life. You are the one that gets to see that younger version of yourself. You are the one that gets to say, how do you feel? What was that like? I understand, and I am here, and I can give you what you need today, right? We can't ever go back and rewrite our history, but as our adult healed self, we can see that little child and give them the words and let them know that they are taken care of.
Yeah, what you come to realize is, the adult that you were always waiting for. This is what I've realized. The adult that was waiting in the forest. Where are all the adults? Where are they, right? Like, you come to realize that the adult you were always waiting for is you, right? Like, you get to be the adult that kid always needed. That's something that I've recognized in my life, is that I get to be the adult that gets to go and take care of her, but also the other babies in my life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will close out, get you all on a break, and come back and introduce you to our final and wonderful speaker. So let's give it up for Maggie one more time.
Thank you.